Welcome back to the show. Today, we are diving deep into the psychology and the grit of the ultimate underdog. In sports, we love a favorite, but we live for the upset. What does it take for a team or an athlete to defy mathematical probability, ignore the critics, and shatter the status quo? We're looking at the technical breakdowns and the sheer willpower behind the greatest victories ever recorded. From 5,000 to 1 odds in football to a ragtag group of college kids on ice, these aren't just stories, they are masterclasses in elite performance under pressure. Let's break down the wins that changed sports history forever. Let's start with the English Premier League, 2015-2016. Leicester City. At the start of the season, bookmakers gave them 5,000 to 1 odds to win the title. To put that in perspective, you were more likely to find Elvis Presley alive. They had just barely escaped relegation the year before. But under Claudio Ranieri, they didn't just compete, they dominated. It wasn't luck, it was a tactical masterclass in counterattacking football. They averaged only 44.8% possession, the lowest for a champion in history, yet they were lethal when they had the ball.
How do you win with less than 45% possession? You master the 4-4-2. Ranieri utilized a rigid defensive block and exploited the blistering pace of Jamie Vardy. Look at the data. Leicester led the league in interceptions per game with 21.6. They weren't interested in passing for the sake of passing. They wanted to turn defense into attack in under 10 seconds. This required peak cardiovascular conditioning and a high-functioning resting heart rate across the squad to maintain that high-press intensity for 90 minutes. It was clinical, efficient, and historic.
Moving to the ice, the 1980 Winter Olympics. You had the Soviet Union team, professionals who had won 4 consecutive gold medals and just beat the NHL All-Stars 6-0. Opposing them, a group of American college kids. Coach Herb Brooks knew he couldn't outskill the Soviets, so he decided to outwork them. He focused on a hybrid style of play, combining North American physicality with European speed. It was a clash of ideologies where conditioning became the ultimate weapon. When the Soviets tired in the third period, the Americans were just getting started.
Brooks used a training method known as Herbies, line sprints that pushed players to their absolute limit. He understood that in high-stakes environments, technical skill degrades with fatigue. By the time they reached the medal round, the U.S. team's VO2 max levels were off the charts. They trailed the Soviets 3 times during that game, but their aerobic capacity allowed them to maintain a high-intensity forecheck that the Soviets hadn't seen. They scored 2 goals in the final period to win 4-3. It wasn't just a miracle, it was a triumph of sports science and willpower.
Tokyo, 1990. Mike Tyson was the baddest man on the planet, 37-0 with 33 knockouts. Buster Douglas was a 42-1 underdog. No one gave him a chance. But Douglas had a reach advantage and a technical job that stayed active all night. He didn't let Tyson get inside. He threw 243 jabs during the fight, disrupting Tyson's rhythm. When Douglas got knocked down in the 8th, his recovery time was a testament to his mental state. He rose and delivered a knockout in the 10th. It remains the biggest upset in boxing history. Let's talk about tactical discipline. Greece at Euro 2004. They were 150-1 outsiders. Coach Otto Rehhagel implemented a strict man-marking system that frustrated the world's best attackers. They won every knockout game 1-0. It wasn't pretty football, but it was effective. They had a 100% success rate in games where they scored first. Their defensive coordination was so tight that teams like Portugal, France, and the Czech Republic couldn't find a gap. It's a prime example of how a unified system can defeat superior individual talent. So, what's the common thread? Whether it's Leicester's counterattack, the U.S. hockey team's conditioning, or Douglas's jab, every great underdog win is built on 3 pillars: a superior tactical plan, elite physical preparation, and an unbreakable psychological state. These wins prove that data and history are just guides. They aren't destiny. In the arena, the only thing that matters is the next play,
the next round, the next minute. Thank you for joining me for this breakdown of sport's greatest miracles. Keep pushing, keep training, and remember, the odds are just numbers.